Hello. Hi everyone. Sorry, delay a bit. Just now got something went into my eyes. So I have to my eyes still feeling a bit pain. So delay a bit. I think some of you here actually joined because just now Mandarin session cannot join, right? I'm not sure, but I think earlier on there was some issue with the Zoom meeting. So quite a lot of you maybe didn't get to join the morning session. But if you can join the English session, then good lah. Okay, then we can still have our class. Otherwise, if you wanna rewatch the Mandarin version, you also can find it at our YouTube channel later. We will post it in the TDC Education YouTube channel lah. Okay. Hello, hello. I think I can see a few names that I familiar with, but Roxy is who? I feel like I never see your name before. Are you like new? Have I never met you before? Or you use a different name? No lah. Also, you use another name lah. Usually, what's your name? Tell me lah. My friend suggest me join. I see, I see. Okay, hi, nice to meet you. So this is your first time in my class. I think because this one is a free seminar, so yes, should be a lot of you guys are new lah. So welcome to my class. My name is XINYI. I think you already know it because you joined my breakout room, right? Okay. So for today, right, actually, I put my focus a little bit different. Okay. Usually, the past years when I do free seminar, I will focus on exercise. But this time, I think if we really do exercise, then I don't think I can cover a lot of things with you all. And especially this time is midterm exam. So my strategy is for today's class, right? I will focus on explanation. Okay. Yeah. So anything you feel like you're not sure, you ask me. Okay. I will try my best to answer you. But today's focus will be chapter 1 to chapter 4. Okay. Hopefully we can do that lah. Because earlier on in my Mandarin session, I did able to cover chapter 1 to chapter 4 at least. But for exercises, then you will have to try on your own. We need to sacrifice a little bit lah. Okay. Because it's only a 2 hour session. If we want to do explanation and exercise at the same time, surely we cannot make it. So I feel like if I'm gonna spend 1 hour on just exercise, that's a waste. Okay. So it's not always that we have the free seminar, right? And somehow I actually have a YouTube channel. So if let's say you guys want to watch back the previous year's seminar, it's actually available on my channel as well. So you all can like view it on your own lah. Huh? So I will write down the details for you so you can search it up yourself. Now, hi Jace, Oliver. Hi Oliver. You come for class, ah? Wow. Okay. Anyways, my YouTube channel first, okay? Honestly, I hardly update my channel already because I mean I don't do it for profit lah. Okay, so my YouTube channel is basically just to put in information. So let's say when you guys miss out the previous classes, maybe like chapter 1, chapter 2, you didn't attend before. And then you suddenly want to catch up with my tuition classes. So you want to watch back, right? You can use my YouTube law. So that's why I hardly update anymore because I think whatever chapters that needs to be there is already in my YouTube channel. So that's why I don't update it. Unless there's a change of syllabus that I think I need to update my explanation, then I will upload a new video. But other than that, actually, everything is quite full there already. Yeah. Okay. So my YouTube channel is accounting. With Xingyi. Actually, you don't have to like capital letters or whatever. Like you just type normally, you should be able to find my channel there. Okay. So mostly the videos are focusing on Form 5 lah, but Form 4 chapters also quite full there, including the past year's seminar is also inside of my channel. So you guys can search it out on your own before the exams. And then for you guys to ask me questions, of course, YouTube is a bit hard, right? So you can access to me through Instagram. I will give you guys the in YouTube explain English one or Chinese. Some of most of the videos have English and Mandarin version. But some is only Mandarin lah. So you can find those that are English version, if you're only okay with English lah. Okay, so my Instagram is oh my god 老师. So you all can find me there. If let's say after the session you have any questions, you can just DM me through the Instagram. Lor. So for you guys to ask me questions. Because honestly speaking, I don't feel like I want to review my phone number because it's my personal phone number. So what I can do for you is you can search me up on Instagram. Then I can try to answer your questions there. Okay, fair enough lah. You can still find me, but not my personal number lah. Okay, but my usual students, if you guys join my tuition classes, right, usually you have my number one. You can just directly WhatsApp me. But if you guys are just joining for one time, then you can find me from at Instagram lah. Okay, right. So two of the one is the channel, another one is the Instagram. Teacher, later this seminar will be on the YouTube also. Yes, so you can watch it, rewatch it again. Mainly why I encourage you all to join the live session is because when I explain, you have question, you can ask directly. But if you're just gonna watch the replay, right, nobody's gonna answer you. You have to ask me like after the session. So best is you can join the live class to ask questions, and then later anything you forgot, you watch back again. Yeah. So you can like watch 100 times also can lah if you want. If you're so rajin, you know. Okay, come. So let's take a look. Our notes for this time, right? I actually put so many things because some of the schools, right, they have their exams until chapter 6. Okay, so far what I have heard is the exam, some is chapter 1 to chapter 3, some is chapter 1 to 4, some is chapter 1 to 6. But the one that is 1 to 6, right, they do not have 2.3, which is the jadwal. They don't have that. Okay. So far the 1 to 6 is only Catholic high school, if I'm not wrong lah. Okay. The rest of the schools actually only have up to chapter 4 maximum. So I think for most of you guys shouldn't be an issue lah. Okay. So when you guys do the exercises, right, you only do until chapter 4. Document, buku catatan pertama. Is that okay? So yours is until 6. Okay, then you will have to use the exercise and try it yourself, lor, because as of now in the seminar, it's kind of hard for me to do until chapter 6. I can provide you the materials, but for 2 hour session, it's tough to go until chapter 6. So you can only rely on maybe how your school teacher teaches you. Or if you do follow my usual session, right? For the upcoming week tuition class, which is week 4 of March, we will cover chapter 5. So then I can roughly tell you how it goes until chapter 6 lah. Okay? Because actually among these two steps, right? Leja is the harder one lah. Imbangan Duga actually is just a list of items. So basically, if you can do leja, then imbangan duga shouldn't be a problem one. So mainly is the 3, 4, 5 part. Lor. If you can do it well, then bab 6 is not an issue. Okay, come. So today, right, actually my focus will be on chapter 1 and 2 more. Okay, and as to the 3 to 4, right, I will do a rough introduction talking about document, what are their usage, and then also how you apply to your buku catatan pertama. That will be my target for today lah. Okay, so pengenalan I didn't put too much. I only put important subtopics, but of course for you to know first, your exam format. I think you can use page 6 lah because it's empty. Okay. Can page 6. Okay, come. So exam format. This is Form 4 only, because when you go to Form 5, we have a kertas tiga one. That one is for SPM lah, but in school exams, we don't have kertas tiga, okay? So account only got 2 papers. Kertas satu will contribute 40% of your exam. Kertas dua will contribute 60%. Okay, so honestly speaking, in Form 4, right, your paper 1 is very important because if you score well for your paper 1, you're not going to be afraid about failing already one. You confirm pass because it's 40 questions, 40 marks. If you can score like 32 or above, your paper 2, you just need about 10 marks, then you can pass already one. So if your aim is only pass, then don't worry. unless you do poorly for your kertas satu. Okay, so usually for Form 4, I think paper 1 is quite important. If you guys want to practice, right, I would recommend you guys to buy some maybe exercise books from the bookstore, which has objective questions. Then you can do repeatedly lor. But usually in class, right, we focus more on paper 2. Why leh? Because if I don't teach you paper 2, you don't write anything out, you get 0 marks. But paper 1, there is options A, B, C, D. So anyways, you can choose one in the end one. Just that whether you choose the correct answer or not, that's a different story lah. Okay. So paper 1 and paper 2, paper 1 is fully objective. Full objective. So it will be A, B, C, D kind. They will give you a paper to shade your answer lah. So remember, not to just circle on the question paper. If there is a shading paper, you also shade on the paper itself lah, because that is the official one. Okay. So for paper 1, 40%, I would recommend 32 or above lah to be more secure. So if your target is A, A plus. Okay, I don't know whether now got A plus A or not lah, but I think there is A minus. I have students keep telling me, teacher, I want to score A minus. Okay, A minus is about 70 above lah. So if your target is 70 above, then okay, no, then you try your best to mark up your kertas satu mark. So about 32 and above is quite secure. While for paper 2, the chances of maybe doing something wrong is quite high because it's subjective paper ma. Everything must be written. If you written wrongly, then your marks will be gone. Okay, so the 60% how you get it, there will be dua bahagian. Bahagian A. This one cannot choose. Have to answer everything. Soalan satu. Soalan dua. Soalan tiga. Okay, I kind of expect the questions to be in this manner lah. Okay, question 1, right, will be 5 parts. Each is 2 marks. So what they will ask you in question 1, I give you some example, is most probably coming from chapter 1, bab 1. Hold on. Okay, so most likely from chapter 1, right, the questions they will ask you is like, apakah konsep perakaunan bagi situasi berikut? So they will give you a sentence. So you will answer them according to what you think this situation is. So let's say you can choose what entity berasingan, cost manfaat, all these things we will cover later. Okay, we will do a revision of chapter 1, don't worry. So you are supposed to give them an exact answer. That is how you get your 2 marks. Is that okay? So question 1 is like that. And as to question 2, 3, this one, right, will be 25 marks. Question 3, also 25 marks. Okay, what I expect lah, but it's not gonna be 100% accurate, okay? Because every school, they will come out with their own exam paper. So that's why you say, teacher, is this true or not? I cannot guarantee you, but at least if your exam is from chapter 1 to chapter 4 only, then roughly I can tell you it's about that lah, okay? So question 2, question 3, right, I expect should be persamaan, perakaunan, the jadual. Okay, but of course you change yourself if let's say you mentioned to me, teacher, my exam doesn't have 2.3. This one is 2.3 lor. If your exam doesn't have it, then you can just ignore this. Okay, so just giving you an expectation that usually for first and midterm exam, we will see the jadual persamaan perakaunan at the 25 marks. Okay, but jadual is not going to be 25 marks alone. Yeah, a bit tight on space. Wait, guys. By the way, just to alert you guys, because apparently in the Zoom meeting, there is a hacker. So, I think he is going around every breakout room and try to send some links. So please do not click on any links if you see suspicious in our chat. Is that okay? So just to alert you guys, hopefully the person doesn't come to our room, but just let you guys know first. If you see any weird links, do not click. Okay? Do not click. And also, of course, I'm scared lah. So please don't do anything to the chat where you press links and everything like that. Okay? Ignore if you see any weird messages. Okay? Apparently, another tutor said the person has been going around other classrooms. So you guys just be aware. Okay, come. So we continue. Now, I was saying this T format thing because every time after you finish the jadwal, you are supposed to do this format where you show your final answers into the report. So later on, I will show you the format as well. It's a pair together one. So I expect maybe if we want to give it a rough marks, right? The jadual persamaan probably is around maybe 18 marks, and then 7 marks is at the T format. You can estimate it this way. Okay, ah? And then for question 3, right? Soalan 3 most likely is going to be chapter 3 to 4. So they will make you answer document. T format is PKK, correct? Yeah, the PKK thing. So you show your asset, you show your L and your EP one, correct? Yes. So if you can recall, that means good memory. Yes, meaning you understand it. Because some people, when I say T format, they don't understand one. So now you understand means you're prepared. Okay. Now for the chapter 3 to 4, right? Document, they will give you many pieces. So you can expect your paper, your exam paper to be quite thick because each of the document, right, will take up half of the page. So probably, let's say if they want to come out with 10 pieces, right, you will need about how many pages? 5 pages. So they can show you like 10 pieces of document. So you need to flip around lah. And then for chapter 4 is our buku catatan pertama. The one where you do journal am, journal khas, buku tunai, buku tunai ringgit. Is that okay? Yeah, so this is what I expect lah for the first 3 questions. And then later in the bahagian B, we have also 3 questions. Soalan 4, 5, 6, but you are supposed to choose 2 only. Okay, choose 2 only. So then bahagian A cannot choose. Everything must be done. Must do. So total in your paper 2, right, you're supposed to answer 5 questions. Okay, 3 questions from bahagian A, 2 questions from bahagian B. But I want to let you guys know first, most likely in this midterm exam, your school teachers maybe will only come up with question 4 and question 5. Means what? They don't want to give you an option. But I can understand also because the questions that we have in the current syllabus length, which is chapter 1 to chapter 4, is quite limited. So most likely they cannot come up with 3 questions, right? They only come out 2 lor. So you have no choice. You have to finish answering all. Okay, so you read first lah. Because at the start of bahagian B, there will be sentences on top saying pilih dua dari 3 soalan. If they say that, means you have 3 questions. Okay, but you can flip around and see whether there's 4, 5, 6 or not. If there is, just choose 2 questions. But if you're so able to, my students usually will say, teacher, might as well I do all 3 questions. So I say if you can manage your time, then you do all 3. But if you cannot manage your time, right, then you focus only on 2 questions. Okay. Now, most likely for question 4, I think maybe they come up with buku tunai ringgit. Also, penyata kewangan. This thing, right, actually is under chapter 2. 2.2 to be exact, which is actually supposed to be before jadual one. Then it's a bit repeating because here the T format, right, is the PKK, right? But here is different because when it comes to chapter 2.2, they will request for bentuk penyata. So it's a little bit different. Okay. Yeah. So I expect roughly the question flow will be that lah. But then whether or not they will change the sequence or not, then it's up to the school teacher already. Okay. Teacher, can I know what is the time to answer both papers? Can. Okay. If paper 1, right, is 1 hour, if I'm not wrong, supposed to be 30 minutes. 1 hour and 30 minutes. 1.5 hour. Should be like that. Okay, and then kertas 2 is 2.5. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, I'm not sure whether the paper 1 they got changed or not, but for my other subjects is 1 hour and 15 minutes lah. Okay, so most likely is 1.5 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes. You can check your exam timetable again. But usually it's 1.5 hour, lah, I think, if I'm not wrong. But maybe there are changes. You guys can check your exam timetable, lor. But Kertas Dua confirm is 2.5 hours. Okay? Alright. So exam format, I finished saying already, lah. So you see, the total marks is what? Total is 10, 25, 25, and then this one here is 20 marks each. Means your Kertas Dua actually, your school paper one is only 1 hour. Is it changed already or then maybe? But I think it depends one because in SPM supposed to be 1 hour 15 minutes and above one cannot be just 1 hour one. Yeah, SPM at least I can guarantee it's more than 1 hour lah. But maybe it's your school. Yeah, okay, don't worry lah. Should be enough time one. Honestly speaking, I never used 1 hour for paper one before, unless it's maths. In school, right? Last time exam time, my paper one, the only one that I use, I feel like not enough time is maths. Because you have to like calculate a lot of things, right? But accounts, I think it's fine because as of now, very little calculation. So paper one, I think you use 30 minutes and you finish already one. Yeah, okay. I think my school for midterm don't have full paper. The timetable only wrote 2.5 hour. Oh, okay. Then most likely you will see your paper 20 questions of paper one. Then the rest is all Kertas Dua question. Then it's not full paper already. Yep. Okay, if you only have one exam, not separated, that means it's one paper. So they will have 20 questions from paper one, and then another rest of them are Kertas Dua. I finished paper one in 10 minutes because I tell you finish your exam already, meh? You finished already, meh? Not yet, right? Yeah, don't scare me, please. Okay, right. So anyways, your paper two total is 100, and then they convert back to 60%. That's basically how it is. Okay. While kertas satu memang is 40 marks, still 40%. Okay. Alright. So finish with exam formats. Any questions you want to ask? If no, then I move on to the explanation already. Chapter 1. Okay. Overall, I think, right, your focus, I tell you what subtopics usually will come out first lah, okay? Bab satu, usually, important ones. Yes. Okay, yeah, you can ask. Come. What do you want to ask? You have a question. I'm waiting. Teacher, usually if come out theory, how will they come out as? For paper one, then they will give you like sentence, then you choose A, B, C, D. Lor. But if it's paper two, then they will give you a sentence also, but you're supposed to answer it yourself. Okay, I'll give you example later. So like if my exam until chapter 6, what are things will come out for each part? Actually the chapter 6 thing, right, is together with this one. Here. So means your exam, your question 3, the 25 marks, is going to be chapter 3 to 6. You understand? So the steps are connected. After finish chapter 4, you have to go on to chapter 5 and then do chapter 6. So you have more steps than others. Can you understand? Because 3 to 6 is actually one question. Yeah. Okay, right. So for you guys, by the way, I tell you all about the what JA, JK, journal arm, journal has. By the way, how long will it normally take recording to be uploaded? Because I missed yesterday classes. Not yet because usually it would take about 3 to 4 days lah. Because we need all the tutors to upload their recorded video first. Only we can upload to YouTube. So yeah, for now not yet lah. Okay, so now tell you guys about the important parts first. Okay, for chapter 1, you need to make sure you really know the sejarah of account. Okay, you need to know the badan perakaunan. For next one, you need to know about, let me think about it. Concept perakaunan, andaian, prinsip, Batasan. One more. Bentuk pemilikan, perniagaan. Okay, just for your information, heads up first, okay? Yeah, BT is buku tunai. So for all these bab satu thing, right? I never put every single subtopic in our nota because I wouldn't be able to cover them anyways. So over here, I'm telling you all that if you don't find them in my nota, you can refer to your textbook because all these things are supposed to be the same as your textbook one. So you can mainly focus on four subtopics first. Today in class, I will cover the badan perakaunan, the concept first. Then as for the sejarah and the bentuk pemilikan, you can study them later lah, okay, through your textbook. So chapter 1 question, right, usually are very direct. So example, okay, they will ask you about, let's say, badan lah. Paper 2, soalan 1. A. Apakah badan perakaunan yang menerbitkan piawaian? Okay, so your answer, they will give you a line, so you just answer there. MASB. So this is how the question will be and answer. Okay. Teacher, in subjective question, they ask about badan. Can we just write? Yes. You just write the short form. When you learn in school, your teacher asks you to put short form or long name. Usually they teach also in short form, right? Because objective questions, they also provide answer in short form one. So usually we just write the short form. Yes. Okay, so this is an example. Teacher never teach about one. Huh? Also, your teacher skip chapter 1. That's weird. Okay. Maybe I think your teacher is gonna ask you to memorize everything in chapter 1. Yeah. So roughly it's like that lah. Okay. All right. So for chapter 2, your focus point, yeah, your focus point is klasifikasi. Klasifikasi. So this klasifikasi, but I'm not sure how the teacher teach. Can I write both? Yes, if you can remember the full name, then you write the full name and the short form. But if by the time you suddenly forgot already, then you answer in short form. Okay? Teacher can go up, do bahagian B. Or you say here, is it? You want to copy this one? Okay, now anyways, for chapter 2, klasifikasi, right, is to class your items, okay? So you give them a category lah, basically in chapter 2. So klasifikasi, right, is not something I would go through again in today's class because it would take up so much time. I would want to touch and go a little bit lah because our main focus is how the papers will be, right? So you're feeling very nervous. You don't know how your paper will be. So I will tell you how it's like. And also we touch on the important topics. So klasifikasi, right, we got 5 kinds. The names are A stands for what, guys? A is meaning what? Anyone can answer me? Klasifikasi, your class. A is assets. Yes, very good. What about L? Okay, liability, very good. And what about EP? Equity per minute, very good. H. Okay, hasil. And then B. Belanja. Yes, okay. So these 5 categories, right, you need to know well because in exams, right, they don't like to ask you like meaning of asset, liability, EP. They don't ask you meaning. They will ask you which of the following items is considered under asset. So maybe for the question 1, right, they will ask you very direct things. Jason, why you put a love shape at my screen? Okay, wait, let me remove that, okay? Funny. Suddenly, give me a love shape. Thank you. I remove that. Maybe I should close the annotation, otherwise later you'll accidentally press again. Okay? Alright, so I disable already. Now, by the way, for bab 2, right, they love to ask in question 1, because each one is 2 marks, right? Maybe they will ask you, apakah klasifikasi bagi yang berikut? So there will be maybe part B, point 1, machine. Number 2, account belum bayar. So what you're supposed to answer here is you tell them machine is asset, bukan semasa. Can you understand? So your answer is just tell them the category. And then account belum bayar, you answer them liability, semasa. Can you understand? So these things they will love to ask in question one because question one is just 1, 2 marks like that. So they love to ask that. And as to, you say later parts where it's 20, 25 marks, right? They don't ask these kind of things already one. If it's 20 or 25 marks, they will come up with this one, the jadual. This one then can have 20 to 25 marks. So you're supposed to put numbers into the table, that's it lah, okay? So that's why it's easier to score when it comes to the table already because you just need to understand the concept, okay? And then for our, other than chapter 2 klasifikasi, you also need to prep yourself with this particular thing called the contra. Okay, now this contra, right, got 5 pairs. You all just write down and you memorize the pair. Okay, so the contra pair, it comes with account, induk, account contra. Okay, now I arranged them this way is because induk is the main things, main account. So you have to appear to have account induk first before you can have account contra because account contra is those accounts that makes the main account lesser. They are usually in a negative state. Account contra is negative. So example, right? The ones you all already know, account induk and account contra. Number one, model. Anyone can tell me what is the negative to model? Yes, very good. And can I read your name this way? Anne. Can I call you Anne? Because easier lah. So yes, your answer is correct. Anyone else have the answer for account contra of model? What can make model lesser? Think about it. They are the same category, but this thing, right, actually is a negative form of the category. Give you guys a clue, the contra here is a negative EP. There's only one thing that's negative EP. The term starts with alphabet A. Yes, ambilan, correct. Okay, so you all got it already, yeah? So that's how it works. So as long as this item actually causes the main item to be negative, then it is a contra. So the first pair you already know one, model and ambilan. Okay, now what other pairs that you must be aware of? Number 2 and number 3 are quite alike, okay? Berlian, Jalan. This one then I don't ask lah because I scared you all don't know how to answer. So berlian and jalan, right, is when you do the action. You buy, then it's called berlian. You sell, then it's called jualan. Okay, but what happens that can actually make berlian lesser and jualan lesser? This actually will follow by the format that we learn under penata keuangan. Okay, when you do account perdagangan dan untung rugi. Yes, correct, Roxy. You got the correct answer. Wait um dear Jensen. Okay, dear Jensen. Don't suddenly on the mic lah, scare me, okay? Oh my god. Okay, so anyways, just mute everybody first lah in case Jensen not here to hack people, right? Okay, no no Alright, don't scare me suddenly draw on my screen, suddenly on the mic, everything. Okay, yeah, Roxy is correct. So the answer for berlian and jalan, the only thing that can make them lesser, because berlian is when you buy mah. So you buy, it will increase. How you make it decrease then? If you return. Okay, so the answer for contra is when you do pulangan, return. So that's two versions of pulangan. One is pulangan berlian. Hold on. Jensen, you very suspicious eh. Are you a hacker, Jensen? Why you turn on your camera? Excuse me. If you do that again, I'll remove you from the meeting, by the way. Please don't do that. Don't turn on your camera. Thank you. Okay. We just need to focus in the class. If you do that again, I remove you. Okay. A bit disturbing already. Okay. So anyways, teacher in the exam will them ask us to do the jadual for account perdagangan dan untung rugi. Can you scrub which part you want me to show you? The exam format. Oh, okay. Hold on. For Anne's question. Jadwal for no jadwal, but it's a format. So you basically just draw lines. You basically just draw lines. There's no jadwal to draw actually. You imagine they will give you like a piece of paper. Okay, so foolscap paper, right? Test pad. You just need to draw a horizontal line and then straight lines. So this is the format already. The format is just like that, just the line. Yeah, you're supposed to draw it yourself. They don't give you one. Yeah, so for penyata kewangan, it's like that. You need to do it yourself. But if it's this one, you don't have to because this one usually they give. Yeah, okay. But if it's this one, yes, you draw the lines yourself. Then you arrange. Okay, alright. So teacher can go up. Can. I'm just showing example. Give me a moment now, okay? You're very kanchiong, okay? Come, go up a bit. You want to copy which part? Because your up is where exam format Still at exam format about one. Okay, can. Here lah, okay, come. I continue saying so pulangan belian, pulangan jalan. Oh, I think this student just now is the weird person. You remember just now I keep calling one person. I think he is the weird guy. He went out already. The one who draw on my screen and then like turn on his mic and the camera just now. Okay, I let the admin know first. Oh my god. That's why he's doing weird things, right? Wait Or maybe he malu after get scolded. I don't think so. I mean, if he accidentally done that, he would say sorry, right? But he didn't. He didn't respond to anything at all. Yeah, so I think he's quite suspicious lah. He's not bad, right? Okay, no. It's okay. Glad he's gone now. Okay, come, we continue. Anyways, the belian and the jalan, the contra is supposed to be pulangan belian, pulangan jalan. Okay, and then for number 4 and 5, right, these two is not something you all have learned yet, but you need to know because for this time exam, most probably they will ask because it's in your chapter 2 syllabus, right? Okay, one of it is account belum terima. Account belum terima. And then the fifth one is supposed to be asset bukan semasa. So just to clarify a bit, this one is any. So if you guys think about it, right, asset bukan semasa, we have a lot. We have about 8 of them. Yeah. Wait, hold on. 7 of them. So if unless they split lah, okay. So machine, jentera, perabot kenderaan, all this if they come out as the question account induk, so your answer is supposed to be Harry. What contra? Let me explain to you, okay? So for account belum terima, the contra pair is called the peruntukan hutang ragu. Usually I call it by short form PHR. Okay, so this thing right actually is meaning ragu worried. Okay, so this amount right is supposed to be example like account belum terima right is the bunch of money that you have yet to collect. Maybe he left because can only message you and not like the general message. Is he your friend? Because I don't know. I truly speaking I don't know all these people. I mean, the name is not someone I'm familiar with. I don't have a student called Jensen, so it's like probably a new person, but he's doing suspicious stuff lah, to be honest. I feel weird. So who knows? Okay, let's hope he's not a hacker lah. Okay, yeah. Hopefully, don't come and mess my class again. Hopefully. Okay, if this person somehow happened to be your friend, then you let me know lah. Okay, maybe I misunderstood him, but the things he's doing is kind of weird. Okay, yeah, he showed me a screen of like, I think like us, he cannot send weird things in public chat. Mm, I don't know actually, but I told the admin already lah. Hopefully he doesn't do anything else at other classrooms. Yeah. I didn't remove him, by the way. He left himself. Okay, right. So let's continue. For the hutang ragu part, we're talking about worry. So when I say account belum terima, right, these are the customers who you sell to, but you haven't received money from them. So what happens is, let's say this person, if they owe you for 3 months, right, what will happen to you? You will feel worried, right? Wow, already 3 months, this person still doesn't come back. So as a preparation step, a prevention step, I mean, you cannot prevent lah, but at least we can calculate, let's say, 2,000 of account belum terima, I estimate about 5% I cannot get back. So if 2,000, right, 5% is how much? 2,000, 5% is 100. Okay, so we will put this under the name peruntukan hutang ragu. So when we do the report, right, I will show account belum terima, tolak peruntukan hutang ragu. I show the boss that he is worried about 5%, right? So roughly estimated amount we can collect back this year is 1,009. So this is what the PHR does. It helps us to have a preparation that, let's say if this 100 really cannot get back, then we have already expected it. So we don't feel, oh, so sudden, I got no money to cover. That's how the peruntukan hutang ragu works, okay? But it's a temporary negative lah. We don't really minus them off entirely, but I will show in the report that it's a negative, okay? Now, as to asset bukan semasa, right? You guys need to remember, asset bukan semasa are valuables. They come in value, right? But does the value sustain? Example, I buy a phone. Okay, this new phone, I bought for 5,000 ringgit. Do you think after 2 years it will still be 5,000? Of course not. So what we do is we will estimate the depreciation of your asset bukan semasa. So depreciate means the value decreases. Okay, so that what we call it is susut nilai terkumpul. So it's a bit like shrinking of value. Okay, susut and then value nilai. So then why is it terkumpul? Because if you want to calculate, right, let's say I use for 1 year. 1 year, it decreases by 100. But now you already use for 5 years old. Then of course you need to tell me lah, as of now, how much is the susut nilai in total. So that's why we have the terkumpul ones only to have a relationship with asset bukan semasa. So for chapter 2, you have to especially remember the pair. Okay, because I cannot guarantee whether they give you induk or they give you contra. Maybe any way round also can. Example, they ask you, apakah account induk bagi ambilan? So your answer is model. Versus, apakah account contra bagi jualan? Your answer is pulangan jualan. So once again, these are what they will ask you in paper 2, question 1. Okay, so alert about this lah. So now, everyone can start asking questions. Otherwise, then I will start moving on to the nota already. Okay, so I wait for you all to copy first. If you're done, please let me know so I can move on. If you think you're a bit slow, then you scared like delay or anything, you take a screenshot lah. Then you can copy slowly later. Done, okay. Total value decrease. This is the meaning. Okay, total value decrease. So like now I use the iPhone, it's 5,000. It's still new so still 5,000 no. But after 2 years, why is it become 3,000 only? Because the total value decrease is 2,000. So there's a relationship between the asset bukan semasa and the susut nilai terkumpul. So every asset bukan semasa will decrease, but except for premise. Like houses, right? The properties, they don't decrease in prices they will increase. But the rest are like those who are gonna become older. Teacher, how you write so good? Because my notability writing is so good. Because I write very hard there. I write really, really hard. So that's why. Okay, it's normal for you one. I usually write so hard that my finger there's a hole in my finger. So it's very normal. Okay, you write cacat is normal one. Okay, teacher, is chapter 1 and 2 just about theory and understanding? Yes, correct. Because chapter 1 and 2 is not even in the accounting cycle yet. Your chapter 1 and 2 is just to let you know the concepts. You know how it works already. Then only we officially start chapter 3, 4 as the cycle. Teacher, what topic should I focus for bab 3 and 4 for this midterm? Chapter 3 and 4 is actually practical one. means you are supposed to answer for paper 2. But if you say chapter 3, right? Chapter 3 will ask you about document types. Yeah, so like what is invoice? What is nota debit? What is nota credit? And then for chapter 4, most likely they will come out same questions like how your paper 2 is. So they will ask you how is it supposed to be recorded inside of the journal arm? How is it supposed to be recorded in buku tunai? The question will somehow be like that. Chapter 4 will be more of practical. Even in paper 1, also they ask you to choose the recording method. But chapter 1 to 3, they will ask you theory. Okay, right. So now let's go through. So give me some patience. I will start go through chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so you give me some time. I go by steps. Okay, chapter 1. First thing, this is the subtopic that we started off with. Okay, so page 2. This thing is called the Gitaran Perakaunan, where we first introduce about how accounting is lah. Okay, so we have a cycle to follow. It consists of 8 peringkat. You have 8 steps to do. Okay, so in your entire Form 4 syllabus, you are supposed to follow the peringkat and learn part by part. So what we call the chapter 3 is actually the first step in your Gitaran. Half of this, usually the sequence is meant for paper 1. So maybe they will give you the cycle and then they cross out this part and then they ask you apakah di peringkat 8. So you are supposed to choose from A, B, C, D. What is the answer here? Okay, so document is your chapter 3. That we officially start the cycle is chapter 3. Do we need to memorize? Oh, no need. No need. But you just need to understand it's a tata cara penyediaan record. It's a way for us to record accounts. That's all. They don't have any other meanings one. Okay, so the first step is chapter 3. Second step is buku catatan pertama, which is bab 4. So far, most of the schools only exempt until chapter 4 lah, okay? And then as to leja, right, is chapter 5. Imbangan duga, fourth step, is chapter 6. Usually the maximum for midterm exam is until chapter 6 lah. They will never go until the 5th step one, okay? Pelarasan is bab 8. You will only see it officially in your final exam. So you are supposed to see your exam in final exam now. Supposed to be 3, 4, 5 alone, 6, 8, and 7. Supposed to be like that. Okay, so the chapter 7 is your 8th step. So over here are the middle, right? Number 6 and number 7. These two doesn't have a chapter 1. Number 6 and number 7 doesn't have a chapter. They are just repeating, like example, you see the name Imbangan Duga, right? So it repeats step number 4, bab 6. Just redo it because pelarasan is to make adjustments. Okay, but as to why we want to do the adjustments there, I think we better save time on that lah because your exam doesn't have it. You just need to know the name of it. Okay, so before your exam, you read roughly like what are the names of the steps and then you can answer them in your paper 1. Okay, so mainly now we have so far learned document, buku catatan pertama, penyata kewangan. At least these 3 things you already learned. Why we learn penyata kewangan? Because it is exactly the same as what you have in chapter 2.2. So I think it's a bit weird because they make it so advanced. In chapter 2 also you already learn. So we can go through that later lah, okay? Right, so now, Gitaran is one thing. Next is the sejarah. This one, you don't remember everything. You just remember one. Abad ke-14. This one, must important ones are the name. Luca Pacioli. This person, very special because he is not an accountant. Main point, ahli mathematic. He is a mathematician. And then what he did was buku mathematic. Everything is about maths actually. Ahli mathematic, he created a buku mathematic and inside of the buku mathematic, he created system Venice, which is currently what we call as system catatan buku. Hold on, give me a moment. I know you want a screenshot, but you give me a moment first, okay? Let me finish this first. So, the abad ke-14 is supposed to remember the person's name, Luca Pacioli. What is his identity? He was ahli mathematic. He created buku mathematic, and inside of the maths book, there is this system of recording called the System Venice. But later on, they changed the name to System Catatan Bergu because it's more relatable lah. Because you tell me System Venice, what does it have to do with Venice? The only thing it has to do with Venice is the location where he created the buku mathematics. Okay. They will ask this paper 2 question 1 again. Yeah, so they will ask you apakah nama bapa perikanan. So your answer is Luca Pacioli. Example like that. Okay, but most likely it's paper 1 lah actually. Paper 2 is possible, but it's question 1. All this theory thing, I repeat again, is either paper 1 or paper 2, soalan 1. It's always like this. No answer long. Give direct answer. No essay questions. If you write essay for them, 0 mark. We got no essay one. Okay, you give them direct answer. Ask you, apakah gelaran Luca Pacioli? Bapa perikanan. Just 2 words. Finish. Okay, don't write essay. Now, by the way, one more thing is, what does it mean by sistem catatan bergu? Catatan bergu in English is double entry system. So where have you learned this double entry system before? You learn it already one. If you're already up to chapter 4 in your school, the system catatan bergu is the one where they start introducing left and right side to you. Debit, credit. So the debit credit, we have asset, we have belanja. The credit side, we have hasil, EP, liability. He is the person who created this system. Okay? Alright, so I pause a while, let you all copy first. Then after finish this one, I will let Catherine screenshot the bab 1 part later. Please update me if you're done. Otherwise, then I will wait very long. Okay? I'm very poor in debit credit lah. Okay, right. So over here, what you want to screenshot? Is it page 2? Catherine, is it that you want page 2? You say but 1 is this one, or is it like the one that I written? Oh, okay, can. Teacher, our total marks for account exam is 100, or paper 2 multiply. The paper 1 is 40. Paper 2 is 100, convert to 60%. Wait, someone ring the doorbell. Done already, Okay, so Hannah, can understand? So your paper 2 is the one has changes. Because your total mark for account paper is the creepy guy from before. Where? He came in again, I'm kidding. Hey, not funny, Oliver. Okay, because honestly, he went to another classroom. Like the one I thought very suspicious. Yes, he went to another classroom. So confirm already lah. It's a suspicious guy, okay? We remove him already, okay? If you guys see any suspicious guys, let me know, okay? So no problem. Okay, come, let's continue. Okay, come, page 4. Badan perikanan. This one, mainly, remember MIA, MASB. These 2 confirm will choose one to come out at least, because in your paper 1, right, there is 40 questions. You only got 4 chapters, let's say lah, okay? Of course, they have a lot of questions to ask from chapter 1. So MIA and MASB is the one that you especially have to remember, because they have different usage. You see, the bottom 3, right, got the similarity, which is they are all professional accounting body. These 3 are the same. So a bit of typo here lah. Professional, just 1 F and 2 S supposed to be. Okay, bit of typo. So anyways, for our professional accounting body, they more or less do something similar lah. But MIA and MASB is different. MIA does menentukan kelayakan. So they are the one who's supposed to test you. So that's why they will give you latihan, pelajaran, dan peperiksaan. So you need to sit through the exams before you can become part of the MIA. Okay, but I want you to understand first, we are talking about the accounting body itself. We're not talking about the people inside. Okay, so this body itself, the badan perakaunan, are supposed to do what? Actually, recent days lah, I see in exam, right? They love to ask about this. Okay, manakah badan perakaunan yang mempopularkan profession perakaunan? So means to actually introduce people about accounting and then teach you what is the profession about. Okay, so they popularkan, make people understand how accounting is and become interested in having to venture into the profession. Can you understand? So this is the main thing lah. And then for the MASB, there's more significant things. MASB stands for Standard Board. So standard means it's like rules and regulation things that you follow in order to create your reports. So when you see the word piawayan, then you can choose MASB already because piawayan is the BM version of standards. Is that okay? So you just look for one keyword, piawayan. But what if they don't say about piawayan? Then maybe you see if they mention penasihat. I mean, of course, this is something they have to do lah. Because who are the person who set up the standards? They are the ones. So if I feel lost as an accountant, I don't know how to follow by the standards. Who will actually give me advice? Of course, the MASB lah. So MASB is supposed to menentukan keperluan minimum, basic, or we can say minimum requirement, and as well as a guideline for accountants to prepare their laporan keuangan. So that's why in Malaysia, every accountant will actually use the same way to create the reports. The things that are different is your numbers because different businesses, of course, will come up with different keuntungan, kerugian, right? But at least we can make sure the format is the same. Okay? Right. So these two have to remember MIA, MASB. As to this bottom three, right? Teacher for the badan, can I answer in English or Malay? Can everything must be in BM, but they don't ask you for sentences one. Okay, so you just need to give them MIA, MASB. I give you an example already just now how the question will look like. Something like this. So you just answer MASB. Okay. But if you're afraid, right, then maybe, you have to kind of know what to write if they ask you kegunaan so you tell them, menawarkan latihan pelajaran dan peperiksaan. But so far, I haven't seen this kind of question before. If you're so unlucky that it happens to you, then I'm sorry, okay? Because so far in all the exams, I never see them asking for all this meaning before one. Unless it's paper one. Paper one, then they will ask, because circle only ma. But paper two, no. Paper two only ask for the name. Okay, right. So for professional accounting body, we have MICPA, CIMA, ACCA. These three, right? The most wallflower, okay, like nobody asks about one. ACCA, okay, because do nothing one. So MICPA is talking about public accountants. Now, public accountants is of a different status one. Public accountants means they can work for any businesses. Public right? So they work for the public. Basically, that's how it works. You don't need to tie to only one business. You can be like freelance like that. You're a public accountant. People will hire you to do their accounting. So you just accept jobs, basically, is like that. And also one thing about teacher, if they ask, do I write the English long version? No, you answer in the BM version. Like just now you asked me, right, teacher, if I want to write both the long name and the short name, you're supposed to give them the BM version one. Cannot write English version. Even though the short form is actually the English version, right? Yeah, but because our syllabus is BM, so you cannot answer in English form. Okay? The short form they allow, but the long name you are supposed to write the BM one. Okay, right. So for public accountant, right, they are supposed to accept jobs anywhere. And also the good thing is they can work overseas lah, but they won't ask you this thing. They only want this as the answer. Penyelidikan dan pembangunan. One more thing if you want to make sure you choose the correct one is bertauliah. If you see the word bertauliah, then you choose MICPA. Because bertauliah means certified. Okay, they are a certified professional accountant. So they can do their job well. This is when they are certified. Okay, so this is what MICPA stands for. So while CIMA, even easier because of the word M, management. So they do pengurusan pentadbiran. But what if they don't come up with pengurusan pentadbiran? They don't make it easy for you. Then you see whether they mention perubahan semasa. like sudden changes. Okay, we needed the management accountants because they are supposed to help us manage risk. So any changes or any sudden happenings, the management accountant are supposed to handle it. So they have a different job scope. Rather than preparing reports for us, they are the one who foresee the risk and then help us manage it. So this is what CIMA is lah. Okay. Now finally, ACCA, right, is actually a professional course that you can take in Malaysia to become a professional accountant. But usually when we talk about like what ACCA does, mainly it's just a, can I say institution where they teach you about overseas guideline as well. So how many marks is one or two lah? I already say they only ask you about the names. So if you answer ACCA, 1 mark lah. How many marks can they give you? Right? I expected already one. All the theories question is only going to be 1 mark. Okay, but you still need to know the sentences to it because you need to answer the short form, right? So if you don't know what is it about, then you cannot choose the correct button per accountant. 1 mark. Yes. Okay, come. So we continue. Remember, amalan per accountant dan etika. Memberi sokongan. That's it. Okay, nothing else already. Don't have to remember the rest. Okay, so right now, finish with the theory in front. Now the main thing is the question that we'll ask for page 5. Okay. Usually, page 5, the questions will be kind of long. They will give you scenarios. So you just look for kata kunci. Learn to work smart, not work hard only lah, okay? So for entity berasingan, we're talking about separate entities. So who are the entities? We are talking about the business and the shop owner, okay? But when we say pemilik, right, it's not that I don't want to let the pemilik be involved in his own kedai. No, no, no. We're talking about private or personal matters. I want to split this out. Okay? Anything that has no relationship with the shop, then we do not record it. So that's why you can see it's written urus niaga pemilik tidak akan direkod dalam buku perniagaan. Is that okay? Urus niaga pemilik tidak akan direkod dalam buku perniagaan. Example, pemilik menjual kereta sendiri. What does it have to do with the shop? Nothing. So did they hire me for personal record? No. I'm hired just to record for the shop. So if it has nothing to do with the shop, do not record it inside. Okay. Now, how do we consider urus niaga perniagaan? If they say pemilik menjual kereta sendiri, then they say membawa masuk wang tersebut. That one is related to the shop. Why? Because when membawa masuk happens, that is what we consider as model. Is that okay? So it will bring benefit to the shop. We actually gain more funds. Sorry, a bit distracted. My mom is making a lot of noise. Okay, right? So, anyways, we continue again. So, entity berasingan. You see the word asing. Asingkan record, then it's gonna be this one. Okay, and usually, right, you can see keyword pemilik also. Whenever they mention anything about pemilik, then you can choose lah. Okay, I think it's most likely entity berasingan. Okay, continue. Wang sebagai ukuran. This one is the hardest among all. Why? Because usually we will keep it as our last choice, okay? They will say, commission diterima, direkod sebagai RM 500. Full stop. Okay, now guys, when you read the sentence, right, you will find no problem with it, man. Anything wrong? Nothing wrong. They're just saying that the commission I've received, I recorded it as 500 ringgit. So this is when you can confirm it's wang sebagai ukuran because there's nothing wrong with the sentence at all. There's no specification of or whether it is a method to calculate or is it like a personal sum, nothing like that. So, but the only thing you can see is the way they record. RM form. This is what we call wang sebagai ukuran. The kata kunci actually is I say wang lah, but it's not usually just wang. It can be any forms like maybe RM. So the cara merekod is you use wang sebagai unit ukuran. In fact, in your entire syllabus, we never record unit. We never record percentage one, only we record RM form. So the moment you see nothing wrong with the sentence and they said they wanted to record it sebagai RM, how much, then you choose wang sebagai ukuran. Okay? And then now, third one, usaha berterusan. This one is talking about continuous effort. Okay, so how do you view continuous effort? We can see that this business owner, the pemilik, wants the business to terus beroperasi. This is the keyword. Like, how can we see that? Like, example, membeli ABS tahan lama. When given a choice, they will try to choose something that is long lasting. Why? Because if I only gonna run the business for 1 year lah, would you buy something that can use for 5 years? You won't. You will feel like, just buy whatever cheapest lah. Then we sustain for 1 year enough. But if you have the mindset of running the business long term, obviously you will try to buy something not as cheap. You would buy something expensive and sustainable. So this is what we consider usaha berterusan. Okay, now last one, tempo perikanan. Tempo perikanan is supposed to be related to date. Okay, as long as they give you date, right? Something like this. I don't care whether it's a year or is it like half a year, doesn't matter. Okay, as long as you see a tempo like this, a period of time, it's considered tempo per ekanan already. But it's very hard to say it's definitely tempo because I have seen questions where they combo entity berasingan and tempo per ekanan together. So you need to see whether tempo per ekanan is the main focus or not. Are they focusing about dates or are they focusing about how you're recording the matter? Okay, so for this one here, the most significant one is when they say membuat laporan keuangan. If they do say that, then it's tempo. Okay, so we got three kinds. Suku, tahun. Suku tahun means a quarter of the year. How many months is that? Three months. 3 bulan. Why? Because in a year you have 12 months, right? So if you divide by 4, then it's 3 lah. Okay. Setengah tahun is half a year. 1/2. 6 bulan. Setahun. 1 year. 12 months. So usually the ones that they love to come out is setahun and setengah tahun. Suku tahun hardly lah, but if you say paper one, then maybe yes, because they will test you lor. How many months is suku tahun? So I hope you can answer lah. Suku tahun is 3 bulan. Okay, so andaian, right, is assumptions of accounting. So means that we assume most of the businesses can follow by these four things, but it's only assumed lah. Alright, okay. If you cannot do it, is it forceful? No. It's not forceful. So businesses can try their best to achieve this four, but it's in the end up to the boss to decide. Is that okay? So tempo per ekana is also not fixed, but we have 3, we have 6, we have 12. Any businesses, they can choose the tempo suitable to themselves. So that's why here is not forceful. We assume you guys do it, but if you don't do it for your business, it's fine. Okay, especially I think wang sebagai ukuran also lah. Depends on which country you're in. If you're in Singapore, of course you don't use RM, right? But if you're in Malaysia, then you use RM, no? There's a bit of difference there. Okay, right. So I pause a bit for you guys to screenshot. Otherwise, then I move on to the next part already. Are you all done? Not done. Okay, can. Yeah, you just tell me honestly. I can wait. Yeah. Let me drink water first, okay? And then after these things, right, after chapter 1, then I focus on 2025 marks question already. Okay? Because I think you guys are more concerned about the 2025 marks, right? Because all these are like 1 or 2 marks. But if I don't tell you, you also cannot remember. So I need to sacrifice some time on them lah. Okay? Even though, yes, it's only 1 or 2 marks, but it can be 40 marks. Because paper 1, right? Paper 1 is like objective. So I still have to cover. Okay, so we just go through this, then I will focus on your chapter 3 to 4. Okay, So please update me when you guys are done. So far, only one person done. So we wait. You screenshot already. Okay. I go get water just now. Heat wave very hot. Yes. Please drink more water, guys. I'm busy right now, so for this whole class, I dengar. Can, at least you dengar, right? Okay. Right. So Catherine, I move a bit up. Okay. I think up there you're already done lah, just the bottom. I move a little bit so I can move on now. Okay. Now for our next part. Okay, undian is assumptions, right? Means you can do lah if you are able to, but the next one, no, you have to follow. It is called a principle. You all know what's a principle? We're talking about principle. Principle are things that you have to follow. It's something like a rule. Is that okay? It's a rule that we follow. That's why it set principles, right? Okay. So principle per accountant is all businesses also must follow one. Okay. The first one is called the ketagalan. Second one is principle cost. Third one is pengiktirafan. So there are total two. Three. The only thing I'm concerned, right, is that in exam, maybe they will be very specific and say, berikan andaian per accountant. So if you ever choose these three in your answer, right, wrong. Because these three are principle. Andaian is the upper four. So you have to be careful if they like really specifically say, I want principle. I want andaian. Then you only can answer among the four, the three, and the one. Okay. So principle per accountant. First rule. Consistent. We're talking about consistency in your record. So when you are recording stuffs, right, including like the calculations and the method, you have to be consistent. Why? Because I want the report to be comparable. Okay, for every year, once we finish the report, I want it to be able to compare with the last year's report. So then I understand how the business is improving or is it getting worse? You understand? So that's the whole point of ketagalan. If I am not consistent in my report, I do whatever pattern I want every year, then I mean, how can you tell if your business has improved or not? And sometimes it confuses people because why your business sometimes like this, sometimes like that. So the procedure part is extremely important that you can mengelakkan keliruan. So you avoid confusions. Okay. So remember, this one here is talking about kaedah, procedures. It's not about numbers. It's about how you calculate, how you create the report. That's the thing. Meanwhile, principle cost, right, is also about consistency, but it's not the method. It's about the price. Okay, it's about price. So that's why usually students, right, they will mess up between ketagalan and principal cost because these two things are quite alike, but it's consistency in different things. Ketagalan is to consistent in the method you record, while principal cost is to consistent in the pricing wise. Okay, so what are the guidelines in pricing? I want to make sure you always record harga belian, which is what we call the cost asal. By the way, cost is literally the same in English, but spelling, of course, C-O-S-T lah, cost. How much it cost you to buy this thing that is called the harga asal. So why do we maintain the principal cost there actually? Is because whatever that actually uses principal cost, right, is only asset, bukan semasa. Okay, now things that comes in value, right? Then you have to make sure it follow principal cost. Why? Because if let's say lah, I buy a car now, do you think the same person can use the same car for 40 years? You won't, because the car will become bad in condition. You will sell it and then you buy it again, right? So the principal cost purpose here is to make sure you always keep the original price of your asset bukan semasa. And so you can compare as of 5 years later, what is the price right now? Harga pasaran. Then I can tell whether I earn money or I suffer loss from selling the car. So the whole purpose of the principal cost is only to apply to aset bukan semasa. Nothing else. So when you see the sentence come with kenderaan, okay, talk about perabot, talk about lengkapan, then most likely is prinsip cost already, unless they talk about calculation. Unless they talk about calculation, then you choose ketegalan. Is that okay? So both are quite alike because when we talk about ketegalan, sometimes they also talk about aset bukan semasa, but most likely is about membuat laporan lah. So a bit of difference there lah. Okay, so remember, ketegalan is to be consistent in how you record something, how you calculate, how you proceed with it, your procedures. But principal cost is only about maintaining the original price. That is what we call the cost. Okay, and now the third one in the principle is called the pengiktirafan hasil dan belanja. Pengiktirafan means is to, I think lah, the meaning is like verify. Why I want to verify? Do you know what's the purpose of verify? You know, sometimes you use your phone app, right? They will ask you to verify your identity. What does it mean? You prove that you are real. Okay, you are the user. That is what we call the verify, right? So hasil dan belanja here is to verify as true figures. Okay, to define true figures means what we are supposed. Ayo, cannot fit everything. I write down there lah, okay? Supposed to pay. Example, I say gaji pekerja 1 year is 60,000, but I only pay 50,000. Which one of the following should follow pengiktirafan hasil dan belanja if I want to record? If I follow the rule here, that it is called the pengiktirafan hasil dan belanja, among the 60 versus the 50,000, I have to follow 60,000 because that is what I am supposed to spend in the year. Even though you didn't spend the 60,000, there is a missing 10,000, right? But in the report, you have to show me the 60,000 because in that way, I can be able to find untung atau rugi sebenar mah. It's just that you pay lesser. So then the less amount, right, you will have to show them in another report. So this is what the verify is, okay? So just remember, the kata kunci is any hasil dan belanja. Example, if you see gaji, you see kadar bayaran, sewa. Most likely, I think they come up with belanja lah because belanja has more names than hasil ma, so they love to ask about belanja. But if it's hasil, then most likely commission lah. Okay, sewa diterima lor. You see all these confirm you choose this. Why? Because no other answers here is related to hasil belanja one. Only the prinsip perakaunan, pengiktirafan hasil belanja will ask about H and B. So if you see hasil, you see belanja, choose this for sure, 100% correct. Okay, right. So now the last one already, when we can end chapter 1. So batasan perakaunan is about the challenge. Okay, this is something that a lot of businesses needs to go through because it's a very hard thing to go overcome now. Okay, so batasan perakaunan, I forgot to put the name. It's actually called a cost manfaat. This is the name of the batasan. Okay, by the way, what does it mean by cost again? Cost is the harga belian, means how much I need to spend. If we translate it into English, we're trying to make the cost beneficial. Okay, cost benefit. So we want to make sure that when I have two choices of cost, I choose the cost that actually brings us more benefit than the other. Okay, so most likely, right, the question will be like this one. Okay, pemilik memilih antara membuka cawangan baharu ataupun memperbesar kedai sedia ada. Okay, so the sentence is like this. There are two. Membuka cawangan baharu, to open a new branch versus to actually renovate to make this existing store bigger. So there are two kinds of cost. Cost satu, cost dua. Okay, now usually they won't tell you what are the prices lah, but they will just tell you the choices are these two. Okay, if you think about it logically, I would never choose the second course. Why? Because if you memperbesarkan kedai sedia ada, yes, your current customers will feel more comfortable. Your shop are bigger, but you only can have your existing customers. You say new customer, maybe one or two new lah. But if you membuka cawangan baharu, you open at a brand new area, which this area before this, a lot of people demand for your store. They say, I wish you open in Kepong. I wish you open in Subang Jaya. You open there. Of course, you got new bunch of customers already, no? So among these two, in the end, your boss chose membuka cawangan baharu. Then you can answer, this is cost manfaat. Because among the two choices, they are both expenses, right? But in the end, your boss went with cost yang minimum maybe, and also they can pendapatan yang optimum. So means with lower cost, but you can achieve higher income. So that's an example of that lah. So any questions, guys? We finished already for chapter 1. Of course, there are still many things in chapter 1, like what sub-bidang, code etika, all this you have to study, but mainly is the 4 subtopics that I mentioned first. You make sure you're okay with it, then only you study the rest. Okay, yeah? Right, so now, for chapter 2, right, I would like to cover just one thing. It is gonna be page 9 and also page 10. Roughly lah, okay? Then the rest of the time, I think about 30 or 20 minutes, I will spend on chapter 3 and 4. Is that okay? Yeah, so before I move on, just make sure if you haven't finished copying yet, please take a screenshot. Then you can slowly write in. Okay, I give you guys 10 seconds lah. You just screenshot and then we move on. Can I think 10 seconds is off already. Let's move on. Okay, come. Page 9. This thing, right, if it doesn't come out in your exam, I want to say it doesn't matter it comes out in your exam or not. It is still a basic. So if your chapter 3 and 4 is weak, most probably it's because your chapter 2 you don't understand. So that's why you need to go with the basic first before we really go into chapter 3 and 4. Okay? Now why I say like that? Because you see, in chapter 2, we haven't do anything like debit credit yet. This is page 9. Okay? In chapter 2, you never do debit credit yet, but you only know how to work with the left and the right side. Okay? Left to the right. They must be equal. Okay, this is the thing you learn in chapter 2. Persamaan perakaunan. You have to follow the rule, which is every record minimum 2 butil dipilih. What does it mean by butil? Surely got people want to ask, okay? So I tell you, butil meaning explanation. But this explanation, term, means you choose from here. These are what we call the explanation terms, okay? So chapter 2 is extremely convenient because they give you whatever term they want you to use already. You just need to choose the correct columns and pair them, okay? So example, in a sentence, right? Okay, usually for the first day, confirm you must have written in the beginning of the business, okay? So it can be memulakan perniagaan dengan, let me see, okay, kenderaan 20,000. Perabot 10,000. Bank 15,000. Okay, what you do with this first state, you are supposed to follow the question requirement. Go to kenderaan, put in 20,000. Go to perabot, put in 10,000. Go to bank, put in 15,000. Now you see, we already meet the minimum requirement, yes, okay? Minimum 2 butil dipilih mah. I already choose more than 2. But the problem is, you have to make sure the left is equals to the right side. You see, I draw one line here, right? Do you think your left side is equal to the right side? Yes or no? Obviously no, right? Okay. And I need you to understand, the term here, memulakan perniagaan, is indicating one thing. Model. Yes, Roxy, you are correct. So the model term is extremely important because for you to start a business as a pemilik, you need to contribute your own savings, your own asset bukan semasa. So that's why to start a business is never gonna be without a model one. So that's why no matter it's new or existing business lah, anyhow, model you have to find out yourself. How to find? You just remember the formula. A equals to L plus EP. Current situation is we do not have liability. So how do you find the model? Just get your asset to kumpul together. The total of your assets is equals to the model. Is that okay? So even in chapter 4, you also do the same thing one, you know. That's why I said chapter 2 is a basic. You know how to do chapter 2, you will know how to do your chapter 4 because they are repeating the same concept. Okay? So how much is your model? If you add all three together, that is supposed to be 45,000 that you put under model to begin. So just one thing, if you want your jadual persamaan per akanan to be balanced, you have to guarantee every date you record inside, they are the same. Example, on the 2nd of the month, you say you purchase inventory, but without paying, belum bayar. Great, you will have to start liability. You owe money to this person, 6,000. So it increases your liability. At the same time, it increases the products you have. So in chapter 2, right, all your barang niaga is considered as inventory. No matter you purchase or you sell, it will be under this column one. So it's just whether it increases or the decreases, okay? So on the 5th of January, let's say, you sell your barang niaga. Now selling, then you have to be careful. Why? Because us as a seller, do you want to earn money? Obvious question. Confirm you want to earn, right? If you sell your item at 2,000 ringgit, sorry, 2,000 original price, okay? You took it out from the inventory, you minus, so we put bracket lah. But when you sell, you don't sell 2,000. You have to look for keywords, like barang niaga, then you choose inventory. You have to follow the keywords, okay? So over here, I already give you guys the thing that is confusing lah. Here, membeli secara kredit. If you see secara kredit, you can choose account belum. But whether it's bayar or terima, pay versus receive, the logic is buy. Of course, you pay. You sell. Of course, you receive. So you only need to decide the last term when it comes to secara kredit, whether or not it's a terima or a bayar. So you look at your own action, if you sell or you buy. Okay, so example now, if I sell my product, barang niaga goes down. Okay, it becomes lesser, right? But I'm not going to sell at 2,000 ringgit. I want to earn money. Of course, I sell at a higher price. Example, I sell for 3,000 ringgit. The person gives me cash, 2,900. Obviously, it will be in the sentence, okay? So you just need to put 3,000 into 2,900 column. So you see, now what happens is the whole transaction here will gain you how much of keuntungan. If your item is 2,000, you sell at 3,000. Obviously, you're gonna earn 1,000 ringgit, right? Which is the column that is supposed for you to record keuntungan? Obviously. Can you see this word? Untung. This is where you put it. Keuntungan, you put into untung per se. So you see, your left side is negative 2,000 plus 3,000. Isn't it also equals to 1,000 on your right hand side? So both the left and the right must be of the same number, then they are considered correct. Okay, so at the end of this table, you are supposed to balance it, total everything, okay, bring down, and then copy all of the assets into your report, left side. Copy all of the L and the EP to your report, right hand side. Okay, so how is the arrangement done? You follow by largest to smaller one. So asset bukan semasa comes first because they are stagnant. The number usually don't change a lot. So I say, you see these columns, right? perabot and kenderaan, usually they only happen to have one record, which is on the first day. After that, right, they don't change one. So that's why they are stagnant. They hardly have any changes, right? We will put them at a position where it's more difficult to change their numbers. Also, we put them first. It's like we put them up there. And then whatever that need changes a lot, then asset semasa will go on the second group. Okay. So first group, ABS. Second group, asset semasa. The sequence is fixed. You cannot change the sequence yourself. If you go and put other things here, sorry to say, 0 marks for you. Okay, must follow. This is a format lah. Here is when we say it's a bentuk T. Why bentuk T? Because if you look at the shape, title line, middle line. This is exactly why we call it bentuk T. We have a left and the right side. So by now, actually, you already know the left side is called debit. The right side is called credit. And why exactly assets come here? Because in Sistem Catatan Bergu, guys, Sistem Catatan Bergu explains that asset belanja belongs to the debit side. Hasil, EP, liability belongs to the credit side. But why don't we see hasil and belanja here? Because in chapter 2, belanja, hasil, got no place to put, only can go into untung. Now, by now, right, actually, after you learn the format and everything, you should know because hasil and belanja, they are supposed to compare with each other. My income versus my expenses. If I can compare them, right, hasil more than belanja, I have keuntungan. But if belanja more than hasil, I will suffer kerugian. Can you understand? So that's why in chapter 2, right, they make it simpler. They don't want to have the hasil belanja word written out. But whenever you see what sewa, you see gaji, then they will definitely come into this column. For example, membayar gaji dengan cek RM 5,000. So you will take gaji as the keyword, check as the keyword. So check you change to bank. Gaji you will change to untung per se. But the effect of gaji to untung per se is negative because you pay ma. Do you still have this money with you? No, it will cause your keuntungan to be lesser. So that's why untung per se decreases. Your money in the bank also decreases. So when we record, example, it's maybe 12th of the month, you will go to bank account, put bracket 5,000. Go to untung bersih, put bracket 5,000. So this is an example, okay? Okay, Catherine, we don't use EP all the time. Okay, we don't use EP all the time. The formula is asset equals to L plus EP, but it doesn't mean for every transaction you must have one asset, one liability, and one EP. So you can see just now, this inventory thing, why didn't we choose under equity per minute? Because I didn't involve my boss. You get it? So the EP is only going to be used if there is related to your boss. Model is when bawa masuk happens. Your boss bring in money, bring in items. Ambilan is when your boss take. So the only thing that can be closest to inventory most probably is untung per se. Like how we said just now, your inventory is 2,000, but you sell at 3,000. It will gain you keuntungan. That is when you use the EP column. Okay, so if your inventory is 6,000, why would you need to put an EP? Because I buy secara kredit mah. So I owe someone instead of related to my per minute. So we choose A to pair with L. Okay, please don't have the wrong mindset. A lot of people would think that everything must go by left and right side. No, if you have everything on the left side and it becomes 0, it also works. There are so many pairs to it, okay? It can be like this. I put on page 8. Okay, 5,000 plus 3,000 on the left. Right side is 1, 8,000. It can also be negative 3,000 on the left, negative 3,000 on the right. It also can be positive 6,000, negative 6,000 on the left. Nothing on the right side. There's so many pairs to it. Okay, so I don't need to always have left and right side at the same time. It depends on the situation which column are supposed to be used. You apply accordingly. Okay, so don't have the wrong concept. Okay, so anyways, finish with the format already lah. Just telling you, you finish up the table, then you should be able to answer them inside of the PKK. Now, by the way, I have example lah for the bab 2. Let me find for you, okay? Chapter 2. It is 3 years ago lah, the video, but I think it's still the same. So you guys can go through with the video. It is also a May seminar, actually. It's a midterm seminar. So you guys can look at the video after the class. Okay. So I think in this video, there is exact explanation about chapter 2 because during that seminar period, I didn't focus on 3, 4. I only focused on chapter 1 and chapter 2. So I got more time. I even do exercises. So maybe you can refer to this English explanation of chapter 2. Okay. All right, so now I want to teach you how to score 20 to 25 marks. Okay, this is so important. That is your page 12. Okay, this time your midterm exam will focus on chapter 3 and 4. If you talk about, oh, my exam until chapter 6, yes, I know. But if you don't do chapter 3 and chapter 4, you cannot go until chapter 6 one. Okay, so it's a cycle. Okay, I show you guys. Use page 12, right? Got space or not to write? Oh, page 17, empty page. Okay, this question, 20 marks, 25 marks. How they give the marks truly speaking, I don't know how your teacher is gonna accommodate the marks, but at least I know it's gonna be 20 or 25 marks already, confirmed, okay? So how it works is, chapter 3 is gonna act as the soalan. They give you as questions, okay? Roughly about 10 pieces or more. That is how your question will look like. So your task is to actually identify the document types. What are they meant for? You filter them by transaction types into chapter 4. Buku catatan pertama. Okay, so your chapter 4 has 2 transaction types group. Okay, so the 2 groups are secara credit. What does it mean? Means not involving money. This is what we call secara credit. Okay, and then another group, secara tunai atau check. So we got 2 groups. Okay, so the books you can choose for secara credit is number 1, journal. Number 2, journal has. This is the 2 books. You can realize that they are starting with the same term, J, journal. It must be for secara credit, okay? While for secara tunai atau check, involving money, only got 1 book to choose. Cash book, buku tunai. Okay, so mainly for your chapter 4, these 3 books, right, is confirmed coming out already. But for buku tunai sheet, I think it might be in a separate question. If your teacher doesn't have any more questions to come out, most likely it will be splitted lah. Because otherwise, nothing to ask already. So most probably buku tunai sheet will be a separate one now, okay? And if you are lucky, your teacher say no buku tunai sheet, then your exam will be like this. 3 books for you to prepare, okay? Now, in chapter 4, buku catatan pertama, you are supposed to assign them according to transaction types and tell me what you want to record. Assign this thing, butil, to be recorded. So, I hope you guys didn't understand it wrongly. Yes, your chapter 4 is not even recording yet. Your chapter 4 is only assigning them. You tell me who you want to debit, who you want to credit. This is what you do in chapter 4. So the official part where you really debit and you credit them is chapter 5. Ledger. This is when you execute the debit and credit. Okay, so whatever you write in chapter 4 is only a preparation. You are telling me later or in chapter 5, you want to debit this, you want to credit this. So anything that repeats, or let's say you see parabot for 5 times, in your ledger, you will see 5 times of parabot record. Okay, how it works is ledger is depends on your buku catatan pertama. I'll let you imagine you got 3 books, right? In these 3 books, if you have total to 20 butir, 20 different butirs like perabot, kenderaan, tunai, bank, gaji, sewa, iklan, commission, kedai ali. All these are butir. You have to open 20 ledger. This is what you do in chapter 5. Okay, so in chapter 5, you are supposed to open 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You open 20 of these T-shapes and everything, example, perabot, will now have its own positive, negative side. You open for model, model's positive side is right side, negative is left side. So in chapter 5 is where you exactly calculate what is the final answer of your parabot, what is the final answer of your kenderaan, all this, okay? So in chapter 4, you ask me, teacher, what is the status of my berlian now? I don't know one. Because in chapter 4, I only assign what to debit credit. You ask me for final figure, I cannot find for you unless you finish doing chapter 5. That's why chapter 5 is the part where you officially cari, baki, HB, dan baki BB untuk semua butil. So you can find me the balance of everything. Okay, so HB, BB, what does it mean? HB stands for hantar ke bawah. So this HB happens on month end. Then BB is beginning, of the month. So they are connected to each other one, okay? First thing, I need to hantar ke bawah. Only I can actually have the number bawa ke bawah. So these two are connected lah. Okay, so for whoever that are wondering, how about 5 is, right? In my usual class, my tuition classes are, if you follow my tuition class my coming week syllabus is supposed to go into chapter 5 already. So if anyone here are having exams until chapter 5 and 6, say, no problem, you just need to follow my tuition classes for the week, then I will teach you how to do the chapter 5 lah, okay? But as of now in the seminars, I cannot cover chapter 5. I only can do 3, 4 first because it's too much already, okay? Come. So now let's take a look. I show you guys the theory first, okay? Page number 12. Oh yeah, I paused 5 seconds for you to screenshot, okay? Because I read so many things, right? Can't join because clash with my other tuition time. I mean, of course, if it clashes with your other tuition time, then no choice lor. But maybe you can find it from my YouTube also. Yeah, because in my YouTube channel, I also got cover chapter 5. You can try to look for the video lah. At least Bab 5 got, but I think Bab 6 don't have. If you need, you can use my YouTube channel lah, because it's free, but the YouTube, yeah. But if for my usual student, then you can wait for the coming week. Okay, right. So done. Screenshot. Come. Let's look at page number 12. Teacher, what if my midterm exam till chapter 4? So chapter 4 is about assigned butir. Like, yes, correct. So you don't need to do this. This one is not part of your concern. You just need to make sure you split your documents into 2 kinds. Secara kredit, secara tunai check. Then you can answer them into your journal arm, journal khas, and buku tunai. Yeah, so you don't need to worry about this one down here. Okay, right, come. So we go back to page 12. Of course, it's impossible that I want you to write every single meaning here. Crazy. So, of course, I only talk about a few that are important. So, I think usually they will ask lah, okay? Page 12. I only give you guys total to 7 example. Okay? Now, document got different kinds one, In chapter 3, we learn 2 kinds of document. One is document sumber. Another is document bukan sumber. So, what's the difference there? Okay, document sumber gives you information. About what? the transaction. So document sumber only happens when the transaction really happened already. We pay, I buy something for you from you, then it's called document sumber. But if it's document bukan sumber, they don't ask in paper 2 one. Okay, so just in case you're concerned, document bukan sumber, only kertas satu. They are meant for reference only. I give you an example of document bukan sumber. Price list. Okay, example, you go to a restaurant. You look at the menu, right? What does the menu do? Tell you about what they sell and then the prices. But are you forced, the moment you open the menu, you have to order everything? Is that how it works? Of course not. Okay, crazy man, have to finish everything. So the menu is supposed to help encourage you to purchase or to order the food because they will show you like illustrations, right? Like pictures and everything. So document bukan sumber is a reference for the transaction to happen. But whether or not you finally choose it, that is a different story. So if in a restaurant, you ask the waiter or the waitress to come over, you say, oh, I want to order this pizza, this spaghetti. Oh, now pizza and spaghetti will go into the document sumber then. Because you have to pay for it, right? You eat and then you don't pay. Of course cannot. So that's why document sumber are meant for when the transaction officially happen. Okay? So then there are two main documents for buying and selling. These two. Okay, just remember, bill tonight and invoice both are meant for purchasing and selling. But what's the difference? The payment method. This is when you pay. Paid, then you get bill tonight. But if you not paid, you will get invoice. Is that okay? You understand the invoice is something like a piece of paper to remind you you haven't paid yet. You need to pay before which date there's a due date. So invoice works like that. But bill tonight is when I can confirm this transaction is already finished. Not paid means secara credit. Yes, correct. So secara credit you can understand as owe as well. OWE. So you owe someone. You buy, but you haven't paid. You sell, but you haven't received. That's why you see secara credit actually leads us to these two person. Account belum terima. ABT. Account belum bayar. That's exactly why it's called the secara credit law because you never pay. Then of course you have to note down who's the person that you have not paid yet and who's the person who you not received yet. So this is how secara credit works. Okay? Right. So for receipt rasmi and the rest is different a bit lah. Okay. So we talk about the first three. These three you have to memorize because secara credit only got 3 plus 1. So when you're doing a full question, right, there are 10 over pieces of document. How you can actually finish answering all of them if you follow sequence is very difficult. So what we do is we focus on secara credit first. You look for invoice, you look for nota debit, you look for nota credit because they will all go to the same book. Nota debit is supposed to menambahkan jumlah invoice. Okay, when I say that, means the invoice must have some problem. Okay, example, I wrote in the invoice 5,000. But I realized, oh no, it's not 5,000. It's supposed to be 5,500. So how can I actually alert my customer that there is actually a missing 500? I will write a piece of nota debit that is 500. I send it to my customer, then they understand their debt is now 5,500. So this is the purpose of the nota debit. It doesn't come up by itself. It only appears if you're trying to make amendments. Okay, you're trying to increase the value, nota debit. But what if you want to decrease the value? Mengurangkan jumlah invoice. Okay, now we have a specific term for this. Remember, when you buy, you sell. It's called berlian jualan. You increase, right? You don't need to change the name. But still remember the pair, account Indo, account contra. What is the term that can make berlian lesser? Starts with the alphabet P one. See if you can recall. Just now we talked about it in the beginning. Yes, very good, Roxy. And Jin Chong is also correct. Pulangan. That's right. So when I want to mengurangkan jumlah invoice, I got no other choice. No matter it is really a return or not, we will still consider it under the name pulangan. Then only it can have the negative effect towards the belian and the jualan. So that's why nota credit, right, is quite specific. If you want to choose the book for it, right, invoice is meant for journal belian. JB, I call it. Journal jualan. JJ. But if you say nota credit, cannot. It must be journal pulangan belian. Journal, pulangan, jualan. It comes with the alphabet P as pulangan. Is that okay? So the book that you use is totally different from the initial invoice. So in case you all don't know what are these short form, you can refer to page 13, JB, JPB, JJ, JPJ. So these are the names that we use for journal has lah, by the way. Okay? Alright, so what else? For nota debit leh, same. 1 and 2 goes to the same place because you want it to increase, right? Of course, you understand. I sell to the person 5,000. But in fact, it's supposed to be 5,005. How can I make the sales amount to tally? I will send another piece of 500 nota debit to them, and then the jualan will increase by 500. So my jualan in the end is 5,500. How can I do that? Put to the same book. So nota debit will go also to journal belian, journal jualan. So they go to the same places, okay? But for nota credit, no. Nota credit is the only piece of document that goes into journal pulangan. Is that okay? Yeah, so now the special case, memo. Memo is used untuk pemilik. Only your pemilik can use memo, okay? And the exact usage is membawa masuk atau mengambil. And here must be barangan. Or I just write barang lah because cannot fit. Okay, so here it's not even about secara credit one, but I have to put it here because as I say, special case lah. Okay, our two records is either to owe or to be secara tunai atau check. If it's about barang, right, there's nothing related to money ma. But is that owing? No. But I can only say I put it here because it's not related to money lah. Okay, so the memo, right, doesn't go into journal has one. Journal journal. Okay, in case you're wondering, how come? But previous up there all about journal has ma. Actually, they all can also go to journal in the case of bukan barang niaga. So we split them to two groups, okay? Easier for you to understand. Barang niaga, secara kredit, journal has. Okay, but if it's asset bukan semasa, secara kredit, bawa masuk atau ambil, these two, journal So we got two groups, okay? So you have to see when you beli atau you jual, is it about your product or not? Example, my shop is kedai pakaian. Can you guys give me two examples of kedai pakaian products? I open a boutique. I open a outfit store. Yes, very good, Catherine. Your barang niaga is baju. What else, other than baju? You just wear your top. You don't wear your bottom one. Okay, of course you wear lah, okay, seluar. So baju, seluar can consider as barang niaga. But if I suddenly buy meja, guys, your shop don't sell tables, but you buy table for what? You buy table because it's functional or you need it in your store ma. So in that case, we consider them as an asset bukan semasa. That's why we will choose to put them under the journal arm. So they share the same documents actually. It's just that the product you buying, is it fitting to barang niaga or is it not? If it's not, then you choose journal arm. If it is, journal has. Okay? Alright, so now, talking about secara tunai atau check. Here, everything is about money. You just need to care about whether it affects your money to be positive or is it to negative. But I think best you understand the use also lah. Okay, bill tunai is for buying, selling. Receipt rasmi, penerimaan, pembayaran. I can say this receipt rasmi, right, is quite often used for bayar hutang. And they love to change the hutang word to this invoice. It's technically the same one. You understand how invoice happen, right? Invoice happen is when you buy or sell, secara credit, you owe someone. Now, you are going to this person, you pay them according to the invoice. That is what we call bayar invoice. Is that okay? So receipt rasmi cannot have items inside. In the receipt, it will only show who you pay to, what is the purpose you pay for. They will not put product inside one. Okay? But if you want product, right, I think keratan check lah. Okay? Remember, keratan check is about bank only. And bank must be minus if it's keratan check. Okay, so how? I say there are two cases though. Keratan check can be for bayar hutang, can bayar belanja, or contra wang. Okay, now in your entire syllabus, right, you got three kinds of contra just for your information. You'll be like, okay, but yes, it's three kinds. Just now you already learned the first kind. The contra is where there are pairing. Account Indo, account what? Account contra, right? So that one is five pairs lah. But here the contra is different. It's only about money. So when is it that it's really contra? If you see the word explanation being kegunaan pejabat. Can you guys translate kegunaan pejabat to English for me? I see if you understand. You translate it to English, then maybe you understand already. Yes, very good, Hui Ling. Correct. Roxy is also correct. Anyone else want to try? Just direct translate kegunaan pejabat into English. Just direct translate it for me. Okay, Oliver is correct. Katrine is correct. Simi is correct. Yes, office use. So the question is, if I put it as office use, have I used it or not? That I need to put it as office use. Do you think I have used it or not yet? No God. Yeah, not yet, guys. Because if I use it already, I can tell you exactly where I use it. But I say office use. There's so many things you use in office. Don't tell me what is it, can or not. Cannot. Example, you buy pen. You write alat tulis lah. You buy table. You write meja lah. But now it's that I haven't used it. That's why I cannot tell you where I use it. I can only say that, I took it out meant for office. But I haven't used it yet, so that's why I cannot tell you the purpose of it. I can only tell you kegunaan pejabat. So in that case, contract in this way is supposed to have recorded as bank minus you took the money from the bank account, and now the form of this money is officially cash form. And it's still in the office as of now. We haven't used it. So I am basically just transforming the money type. You get it? Because actually both are cash. Just that one is that the cash is in the bank. So you want to use it is very difficult. So now what we do is we basically just prepare ourselves. In case of office use, I took it out from the bank. Then I keep it at the office. So that's why as of now, right, the form of money is cash. That's why bank minus, tunai increases. Yeah, this one is the one in the buku tunai, correct. Only buku tunai will have this kind of question. So you prep yourself. If it's about money and they only say kegunaan pejabat, most likely is this contra thing. So, and we usually will put a remark at the folio column being K. Okay, I give you an example. Straight away choose a question for you to see. If it's contra, right, I try to find out, but I cannot guarantee, okay? I try. Maybe start with page 26. Okay, you go there, page 26. This is the question, start of the question. So if it were to be contra, this one don't have contra. Okay, let me see question 2. Question 2 got not. Question 2 starts with page 38. This one. Question 2, document 2, page 39. This is how you know it's contra. Teacher, tomorrow I have your class. Can revision the journal that one a bit. Actually, we already done the revision for 2 weeks. By the way, Oliver. Okay, but I can go through a bit lah. Okay. So anyways, page 39 document 2. Can you see? Kegunaan pejabat. This is exact the keyword. So how it works is here. You can see the paper now. It's called borang wang tunai masuk. When exactly do you need to fill up this form? This form is created by Bank Ombak. You go to the bank, you tell them, I want to cash in. That's why the bank hands you this form. You fill up your nama kedai, you fill up your number account, and your reason, kegunaan pejabat. So when it is meant for cash in, can you guys tell me among tunai and bank, which one will be increasing and which one will be decreasing? This is kegunaan pejabat. Contra for sure already one, but one of the money will become the other. So it's either tunai become bank or bank becomes tunai ma. So right now, I repeat the whole situation again. Why would we have this piece of paper? Because you went to Bank Ombak Berhad and you tell them, I want to cash in. They give you the form. You fill up your number account. How much is the amount you want to cash in? And then now, tell me which one is increased and which one is decreased. Okay, give you 5 seconds to think. Yes, Roxy is correct. Anyone else? Dylan is correct. Yes. Anyone else? I will repeat all the time. Cash in. Then you misunderstand. Oh, cash in is cash increase. No, you're trying to cash in the money to your bank account. So the situation is tunai decrease. Because the cash were in your hands, right? You wanted to put them into the bank. That's why you fill up a form. Cash decreases, bank increases. So this is what we call the contra. So you're supposed to record it this way. Okay, so only happens if you see borang wang tunai masuk or keratan check. Usually it's these two pieces of document lah where the contra will happen. Okay, so overall, you guys can see the organized steps is that you always look for 3 documents first. According to my explanation in page 12, you are supposed to step 1, look for invoice, nota debit, nota credit. Your step 1 is these 3 pieces of document. And then step 2, look for memo. Decide whether the memo is about item or is it about money. If it's about money, you choose buku tunai. If it's about item, you choose barang, choose journal. Okay, and if let's say you finish up these 2 steps already, what are your final steps? All of the rest are meant for buku tunai. Okay, so hold on. I'm going to give you guys a very detailed record. You guys just screenshot. Okay. Give you guys a bit of extra materials. Okay, this one is what I've written in my usual session one. So if you guys are my usual student, then you probably have seen this before, so you don't have to screenshot lah. But if you guys are just first time in my class, you guys can screenshot this. And then whenever you do your bab 3 to 4 question, follow this step exactly. Can? Alright, so I give you guys this extra. So if you done screenshot already, I say for today's session, we finish the theory part. We talk about how the flow will be. So you just need to do what? Final effort for your exam. Try the exercises I put into this set of seminar notes. It's very thick, right? But you just use whatever you need lah, okay? It's not necessary to finish everything, but you can try your best to do. And then the jawaban is all given in the same folder as where you get your PDF notes from. So if you guys want to do and then you want to check the answer, right? You just find from the same link lah, okay? Anything else? Ask me at the Instagram account so that I can try to answer for you when you try. Okay, so if you guys have any more questions, you stay lah, and then I answer you. But if you have no questions already, then that's end of the session for today. Okay, I'll see you next time if there's a chance. Okay, so Catherine, we take out cash from bank is minus. Yes, if you remove cash from the bank will decrease, but your cash will increase. You understand? So the original form is the money is inside your bank account. So you need cash right now, right? You took it out from the bank. Bank will decrease, but the cash in hand will increase. Yes. Okay, bye bye. See you. No problem. See you. Bye bye. So when we put money in bank, cash decrease, bank increase. Yes, correct. So there are two kinds. Yes, correct, Catherine. Okay, bye bye. See you. See you tomorrow. Okay, bye bye. See you.